Hello again. Today's going to be a little bit different. I have a bone to pick with Crafton, the um, the people who made PUBG. They bought one of my favorite game studios a few years ago called Unknown Worlds. If you don't know who that is, they are the people who made Subnautica. And if you have not been following it, I have. Within the last 2 weeks, they have blundered, made a goddamn fool of themselves, and made some really, really dumb decisions that, quite possibly, if the implications are true, are just greed in its rawest form. So let me break it down for you, Mark. Last week, three very key people were let go from the Subnautica team. Co-founders Ted Gill, Charlie Cleveland, and Max McGuire were let go from the Subnautica team. And last week we weren't really given a lot of context. They pretty much said the reason why they were let go was because they weren't in agreement of whether or not the game was ready to go. The people who actually made Subnautica, those three founders, said it was ready for early access, was ready for our retrieval in 2025, which was and has been on my wish list and I've been waiting for, especially with the promise of co-op, since they said that 2025 was going to be the year. Patiently waiting for that. And then suddenly we get this information that three very key people were let go. And at first, like I said, it was because Crafton believed that the game wasn't ready. But these other developers, the ones who put Subnautica and Below Zero into early access before releasing the game, so why wouldn't they do it with 2, said it was ready for us. They were let go. And then they immediately, like the internet does, received backlash. Reddit posts went up saying, delist the game from your wish list, don't buy the game, this, that, and the other, all 9 yards. And then all Crafton had to say was this beautiful statement of, and I want to quote them, that nothing has changed, the path of has not changed, that it still will be a single player experience with co-op capabilities, and there will be no loot boxes, no battle passes, and no microtransactions. I sure fucking hope it wasn't going to have that. Because I sure as fuck wasn't worried about that being a problem. And why would we ever consider that to be a problem? Well, because you own PUBG. That's why, because Crafton probably wanted those things, right? But Crafton bought Unknown Worlds on the premise that they were going to remain independent and that they were going to have creative control over their Subnautica projects, right? But it looks to me here that they're doing a little bit of some hamburglery, some not so good things, some tomfoolery, some corporate greedery. I don't care what you want to call it. Bullshittery. Because it comes out this week that the game had milestones to make. Unknown Worlds, the developers, if they reached a certain amount of sales profits, something like that, they were going to get a $250 million bonus. And a bonus that the Unknown Worlds team, were going to distribute to their about 100 staff. Going up from everybody getting a couple $1,000s to people getting 7 figures, which, by the by, I feel like they fucking deserved. Subnautica is Below Zero a little bit less, But Subnautica is just a gem of a game. It took the world by storm. There hasn't been anything similar that has scratched that deep ocean abyss itch since. Um, and if they kept their promises and keep their promises when it comes to the second game, boy oh boy, do the people who work on it and the people who have remained on the staff to work on it, they did deserve that bonus. And it seems to me, because now they're not going to get it, because it all banked on it happening in 2025, that Crafton is trying to pull a little fast one on these people to not pay this $250 million bonus out that seems well deserved. Because the 3 people who got let go all state that it is ready for early access. It is ready for us to have in hand. And Crafton is just saying, no, it's not. It'll come out in 2026. I'm all for things cooking before they're given to us, right? I want a finished product maybe most of the time, but for these types of games, especially since this is the history of Subnautica in general, both games had early accesses before they were finished released. I just feel like, I don't know, you can smell it, but I smell something fucking fishy going on in these waters. And it's sad. It's absolutely sad. Because this is a series, such a unique experience that doesn't deserve that sad corporate greed. And I feel like that statement that they made last week with them saying, oh, don't worry, it's not going to have microtransactions and battle passes and these things that it should have never had or we would have never considered it having in the first place, really show where they fucking think, where their mind's at. You had nothing to go off of. You have nothing, you have no defense. So you just say whatever. It's not ready yet. Okay, buddy. But it's just sad. It's just, and to give you just like the quickest update, because all of this is unfolding and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper as the ocean. Crafton did release this slam article on their main page, basically accusing a couple of the executives of no longer caring about the project, as well as no longer working on the project and working on personal projects, and that Subnautica 2's failure to launch was due to lack of leadership. Even though said leadership says that the game is ready for early access launch. Which is great because now these executives are suing. They put a counter statement out that says, we've now filed a lawsuit against Crafton. The details should eventually become at least mostly public. You all deserve the full story. Suing a multi-billion-dollar company in a painful, public, and possibly protracted way was certainly not on my bucket list, but this needs to be made right. Subnautica has been my life's work, and I would never willingly abandon it or the amazing team that has poured their hearts into it. It goes on. As for the earnout, the idea that Max, Ted, and I wanted to keep it all for ourselves is totally untrue. Part of what the big article that Crafton put said that 90% of it was allocated only towards them, and they were only going to keep it themselves of the $250 million. I'm in the industry because I love it, he says, not for the riches. Historically, we've always shared our profits with the team and did the same when we sold the studio. You can be damn sure we will continue with the earnout/bonus as well. They deserve it for all the incredible work trying to get the game into your hands. Crafton, why does it seem like you're just trying to tarnish somebody's reputation there, Crafton? Why does it seem like you're just trying to take a bonus away from people, Crafton? Crafton, you suck. Now it's double down time. Now it's do or die. Because now they have publicly stated they will and have repeatedly stated they want to and plan to share that bonus with their entire team. And your whole basis is that they abandoned the project and they weren't going to share the money with their team. And they're and they're selfish, smearing them. Defamation, if you will. Oh, I can't wait to see how this. The state of video games. The fucking state of it. Disgusting. You can read the articles. You can read all that stuff yourself. They replaced the CEO almost immediately. But like that is also telling that they already had a replacement for them immediately. But yeah, it is a sad, sad day in gaming when these co-founders of a beautiful series that took us to a new planet and a new dimension, pretty much deep down into the mysterious murky waters that millionaires are paying top dollar to go get blown up in. And they're just basically taking money out of the hardworking people who are making the game's mouths. Sounds like a lot of HOOPla, if you know what I mean. I'm still probably going to play the game because it is what it is. But it leaves such a nasty taste in my mouth when you see these stories of, and it's happening more and more, of people who work on video games being cut and released before the game comes out, guaranteeing that like release bonuses and stuff like that don't go to them. But I sure is know that these CEOs are getting those bonuses. The people who work the least on them, they're definitely keeping them. And when Subnautica 3 releases and all these hardworking people don't get their $250 million bonus, but it's a great game and it's a beautiful rendition of an ocean that I want to explore, those wonderful co-founders, those wonderful people who were let go will probably not reap the benefits. And that sucks. But that's all I got to say today. I'm going to go take a deep dive, dip, dive, duck, and dodge into the first game just to go clean my palate and get connected with the ocean. Thank you for watching. See you next time.